Careerism is a thing that is less. I think it may become less important over time as people figure out that what's more important is a deeper ambition to do good work, right? And I think that a piece of what we're experiencing, this alienation I mentioned before, is just related to on the one hand, having a mythology of American identity that is about doing great things, but on the other hand, having like very few and very actually relegated and overly defined pathways to get there, like the career, right? And I think what is at the core of the best version of that mythology is to have a dream and pursue it, right? And to do your best and to rely on your neighbors and to ask for help, but to do it. And it's extra pronounced here, and if you're in Wyoming or some of these other western states, I think people are coming here in droves, and part of it is that I think that desire to self-define and to create your own identity, to invent who you are and be able to do that. And it's not about what you purchase or how you look. It's like that you're interested and you're pursuing your deep passion. My relatives were multi-generational Coloradans. My fourth great grandfather opened the first butcher shop in Denver by herding. First, he herded cattle from Texas up to Denver, and then he butchered them in Denver and started the first butcher shop in Denver. Something about this place, maybe it's multi-generational, maybe it's sort of a genetic imprint, but it gives me that sense of belonging. There's a philosopher named Heidegger that talks about that ding that you feel when you're in the place where you belong, like a bell inside of your soul, that it resonates like, this is my place. So I grew up here. It felt very well suited. I went out east for school, grad school, and met my wife there, and we decided, of all places, this is kind of the best. So we moved back and sought out our place in Morrison, which was a piece of land. And then we proceeded over multiple years to figure out how to build our own house. I'm doing architecture, so taking architecture, which is about solid representation of power structure. At the end of the day, it's about who could pay for a building, right? So, and figuring out how do I redistribute the power embedded in that to the people who inhabit buildings, right? I'm a fan of what you described your project to be about, because I think that we are, in a way, we've, as a society, become alienated from our essential character, which is about the social contract, the social animal, that we connect with each other in order to live well. And there's a lot being done to boil that down into something that can be commodified and turned into a purchasable element, right?
When you look back at that journey, as we've all had maybe times of uncertainty or times of life that did not go according to plan, how do you look at those times? And I guess now that you've gone through them, do you have any reflections on how to frame those
Yeah, I have. I'd say that whatever people have as a sense of, I can't do that, or I'm not sure, you gotta just throw it to the wind, because my biggest accomplishments came with a leap of faith, right? So in Morrison, where our house is, we found that land and decided to build a house. The same day we signed the papers for the loans involved, we also found out that we were pregnant with our second child. And so we embarked on a multi-year journey of new baby, building a house, and then stretching everything to its ultimate limit. Like, every credit card maxed out. If you could picture, I was going to our site in Morrison after working 60-hour weeks in the evenings, going installing installing tiles to the late hours on the weekends. And my wife home at our little apartment in Denver, trying to take care of our little ones. So it's I think it reduced the years of my life, but it worked out, and we live there now, and it's beautiful and it's enriching every day. And so now we're reaping the benefits of that. So I think all those years that I lost and the stress of that scenario, I'm gaining back through the quality of life that came out of this mutual endeavor with my wife.
Is there a piece of advice that you would give to your younger self, knowing what you know now, knowing that that younger man doesn't know yet what's ahead of him, talking to him in his frame of mind at that time?
Just to say, don't be afraid of ambition. And there were many moments where I want to like curl up and just collapse, but you got to just keep going for it. Yeah, you got to persevere. Don't fret too much, because and maybe I'm looking at it from the point of view of someone who has the benefit of privileges, right? Of a family that had books and thought about a lot, taught me a lot of deep thought. But I guess in those early stages, there's a lot of question mark about should I go down this path or that path, and just kind of trust in the sense of, what I'm aimed towards. Just, I don't know, almost trusting in your inner voice, if you will.